That's something that you can be grateful for. Your musical expression and creation is so much more powerful today because of this. You are already using a lot of structure in what it is that you're doing. You have a background in classical music and you have a bunch of theory knowledge buried in there somewhere, and you have a bunch of technique in your fingers. You do remember this intuitively. You would not have been able to produce the videos you posted of you improvising on the piano if you didn't have that technical knowledge. It is technical knowledge, you know, it just doesn't feel like technical knowledge anymore because you've internalized it and it's just become part of who you are. So it's now in your intuition. Because you've spent enough time on acquiring the technical skills, it doesn't feel like a technical skill or a chore. It's just part of who you are. Bruce Lee once said, when you start practicing martial arts, a punch is just a punch. And then you start studying martial arts really deeply and you start trying to perfect your technique. You find out a punch is much more than just a punch. You know, it's like this muscle has to do this micro motion, a micro millisecond before this muscle moves. That's exactly equivalent to what you're experiencing on the piano, because now you've reached the next point after this one where a punch is just a punch again, when you've mastered it. It's what's known as unconscious incompetence. You don't know and you don't know that you don't know. And then you start finding out that you don't know, and that's called conscious incompetence. Then you're like, oh shit, this is actually really complicated. There's a lot of stuff to take in here and I haven't taken in any of it, and I have now realized that I apparently suck at this thing. And then you get into conscious competence where you're still having to really focus, but you're starting to get it. And then you get into unconscious competence where you've internalized it, which is where you're at right now with a lot of piano technique and theory. It's not something you're conscious of pulling out as you're improvising on the piano. It just kind of happens. But it doesn't mean that it's not technical. It just means that you've practiced it a lot. You've done a very good job of internalizing all that. So you can give yourself a pat on the back for that, you know, your past self.